help it, I just seem to see the world different. It ain't Republicans or labor rules, it's mental illness. The internet is only interested in left opinions. Cancel culture's got more power lately than the First Amendment. If you don't like it, leave. We will not defund police. We don't want no riots in our neighborhoods or in the streets. We respect freedom of speech. We protect what we believe. We don't want nobody dead, so please do not tread on me. In America, your freedom ain't free. In America, got soldiers dying overseas. So America, can say what we believe. My America, I won't ever take a knee. Our freedom is the reason you can disrespect our flag. If my stars and stripes offend you, then I'll help you pack your bags. America.
Good evening, America. How y'all doing? This is your friendly neighborhood, huh?
That was tame.
This is your friendly neighborhood bearded weirdo coming at you loud and proud as I always do. And with this magnificence upon my face. It was actually because I was about to cough if I would have kept going. Anyway, how y'all doing? It is Tuesday, October 24th. How y'all doing, America? And before we get any further, I'd like to say, introduce this man right here, this Polish god standing next to me.
Hey,
chiseled from Polish stone.
Hey.
If you wave at it, it'll fall out of a tree.
Hey.
He is my best friend, my compadre, and he also is my pastor. He is the one, the only, the Pastor Gary Podosek. And then behind the camera, you can't see him. He's pushing all of our buttons in so many ways.
Shock him and just flip the camera over.
Right? He is our wizard behind the curtain. Do not pay attention to him, except for the fact that he is a good friend. Very, very, very good friend. And we do like his insight on things, even though all you will hear is his sexy voice.
And he's an RA producer.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He would be better if we could get him all the fun gadgets he wants.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. He is the Steve Cattell. How y'all doing today, guys?
Good day.
Good. You're going to hear a lot from me today, guys. So be prepared.
Yeah, a bit of a. We don't all see eye to eye on this one, on this episode. But the episode for today is why Christians should not celebrate Halloween. And I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off with this one.
That's okay.
I'm happy with that. I don't care because I got a lot of family members who, by appearances, are Christian. I'll put it to you that way. And yet they love Halloween, love everything to do with horror, love everything to do with the scary, the ghouls, goblins, the blood, and everything else.
Right.
And the demonic aspects, and gladly bring it into their houses and even into their churches when we're supposed to be set apart.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. That's a hard truth.
I mean, I have a lot of. I think I might have the hot take of the night, but
No.
You have the controversial side of this argument.
I think
I'm saying
hot
I might have the hot take here, so
Okay.
we'll see what happens. But
So, first things first, give a little quick history of Halloween, okay? Because it's not what it is now is not what it originally was. Okay, it was originally a what? What was that?
This is behind the desk stuff. Behind the camera stuff.
yeah. Don't worry about it. Just focus
okay.
on
Anyway,
pay attention to what you're doing, man. Just take a look.
Gotcha.
Look at what you're doing. Look at the notes.
From Kielbasa.
Pay attention to your side.
Anyway, so I want to talk about the history. Sam Hain, however you want to pronounce it. It was a Druidic holiday. Samhain is the name of the god that they worshipped. During that time, they would light bonfires, or as they called them back then, bonfires, where they would put out food for the ghosts and for the demonic, for the spirits. They would put out food to please the angry spirits so that they would get blessings. And they would put this food out, and if the food wasn't liked by them, then these demons would do a trick on the household, which is where the whole trick or treat thing came from for Halloween. They would also sacrifice children. Lots of debauchery. and stuff like that. So I mean, like I said, everything that we pretty much do for Halloween now, trick or treating, dressing up as goblins, if you don't give the kids the good treats, they toilet paper your house. All that stuff is directly out of the book of the Druidic practices that they did. The only difference is that now we are treating our kids as those demons. Oh, we better feed the demons or they'll destroy our house. But that's what it's based on. Everything that has to do with it. And then, yes, later Christians came in. They wanted to do this thing called All Hallows Eve, where instead of doing this thing with the demons, we would remember and honor the saints who had died before and gone to heaven. And that didn't take. Nobody celebrates All Hallows Eve. Nobody. And that's just where that's from. And this is why it is, because of its roots, because of its foundation, because of everything it was for, we are not supposed to be a part of that. And I can give many takes. I will let you guys go first on what your
I'm reserving my right to.
You're reserving your right?
I'm reserving my right to have the final stake.
Oh, you want the final stake? All right. Well, I mean,
so you can open up Pandora's box, and you and Steve can go to blows. All right.
I'll just come out and say it then.
Watch the fireworks.
I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna quite easily go right into Scripture. What's Scripture say about it? I'm gonna go into Leviticus chapter 18.
There's a good one.
Chapter 18, verse 3. You shall not do as they do in the land of Egypt where you lived, and you shall not do as they do in the land of Canaan to which I am bringing you. You shall not walk in their statutes. You shall not follow their rules. Follow my rules and keep my statutes and walk in them. I am the Lord your God. Okay. This is what God has shown me. I've had this argument. People always go, "Oh, well, it's not that. It's for the kids. It has nothing to do with what it used to be. We're just having fun." Okay. Egypt, look at it this way. And you could be asking, "Hey, Nolan, why are you bringing up Egypt and Canaan? That has nothing to do with here and now." Actually, Egypt is where the Israelites were held in slavery. When we were born to slavery. We were in our own spiritual Egypt. We were in the kingdom of sin. We were held to that slavery. Then we accepted Christ and we came out of that. So what is Canaan? Canaan is walking through the everyday life after we have our freedom. In both instances, we are not supposed to be doing what the Egypts did while we were in sin, where we used to be. We are not supposed to be doing any of that stuff anymore. I mean, we're fallible. We're gonna fail. We're gonna screw up. I mean, it's not. We're not gonna cut your head off just because you slipped up a couple times. Might smack you upside the head, smack you, but we're not gonna. No decapitations, like the Hamas would do if you were, trans. But then we come out of that. We are born again. And now we have to live in this world as the light of the world, as the kingdom of heaven, and we are in enemy territory. We are the people of God in enemy territory, aka we are the Israelites in Canaan, and we are not supposed to be doing what this world does. Period. We are not supposed to be worshiping the things they do, whatever altar it's at. Whether it's they worship their government, they worship their sports teams, whether they worship their TV shows, their idols, their whatever. We are not supposed to be doing that, and we're not supposed to be partaking in their rituals. And one of their rituals is Halloween. It has no basis in Christian anything. And you could say, "Oh, well, what about Christmas?" Christmas has a basis in Christianity.
I'm fine. I'm just, the critique notes is I look sleepy. I might look sleepy, but I'm listening intently.
Christmas, yes. Jesus was born in the spring for real. We know this, okay? Sometime in the spring. We celebrate it in the wintertime. That it has nothing to do with anything else that used to happen then, except for the fact that the Catholic Church decided that would be, since we don't know the exact date, that'll be a good time. Let's do it then, instead of doing this other evil thing that they do. Passover, Easter, that all has to do with the Jewish calendar. That has no basis in anything worldly. The truth of the matter is, and this is where I go with it. If you are a Christian, you should not be filling your lives, your children's lives. You should not be putting any of that dark anything in your lives at all. God is very explicit about that.
All right. I have to cut you off.
Okay.
Just because.
First off, I would like to hear something from the New Testament, because back then we're also killing and slaughtering things for God, and so not as pertinent to today.
It is very pertinent. You either believe that the word is all God's word, or it's not all. So if it all does, it all implies. It all applies.
So here's the thing. All right. So I appreciate where you're coming from, and I appreciate the history. But here's something that I argue is probably a better argument going forward, and something that I think Christians in general have a hard time with. And I think that is nostalgia, right? Because a lot of the factors of what we do, or the reason why we participate in things, and a lot of the argument that Steve's going to make is going to be based off of nostalgia. And i.e. nostalgia is, well, back when I was, a child, and my parents, we did these things or whatever, and I have fond memories, and I remember these things, and they were good, and I had a good upbringing, and I ended up living this life, and I'm a good Christian now. So what's the harm? And because it's disguised in this kid's, wrapping paper, it comes off in this way of though it seems like it's innocent, or it's not dangerous. I think this is a twofold argument. I think there's two reasons why Christians should not participate in Halloween. And when I say participate, I mean stop supporting it at all. Don't buy candy. Don't buy costumes. Don't buy. And I'm like, well, dress up's not bad. Dress up's fine. I don't have a problem with you dressing your kids in princess costumes, and you want
to do fancy dress parties.
Whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, superheroes and all that stuff. I don't care about that, but don't do it during Halloween. Well, that's really hard because they don't sell this stuff during any other month of the year.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. But here's the problem. When you buy it during this time of the year, you're supporting the companies and all the stuff that produces this stuff. And what you don't understand is the methods or methodologies behind why they're producing what they're producing. So let's get into a bigger argument. Christians should not support or do anything participating or relevant to Halloween because there is something dark and sinister in this holiday, and you, by either participating in it or even by not addressing your stance against it, is that like you're by feigning I don't care about it or whatever, and just pleading ignorance, you're still a proponent of avocation, because by absence you're still not stopping the problems. And what problems are they? Okay. What if you are a person who is wicked, evil, vile, disgusting, your intentions are evil, everything you want to do is evil, you want to do harm, you want to do irreputable harm. And on this show, we've talked about some of those people that do reputable harm, especially to the most innocent people, children.
Yep.
And you want to do irreparable harm to people. How do you get people to turn away, look a blind eye away, not pay attention to it? You make it disguised as something else.
Yep.
Halloween is that disguise. I'm arguing from other points. Okay. So here's the point. Candy, trick or treat, All Hallows Eve, all the stuff you just said. No offense to you, but nobody cares. I guarantee you nobody cares. Nobody cares because they've heard it before. I'll give you a better one. The most popular costumes purchased on Halloween are outfits for young girls.
Trashy,
and they
slutty,
are
and otherwise
dressing in the sluttiest outfits known to mankind. These are sold to children intentionally.
Yep.
Why? You got to ask yourself that question. I can't answer that question, but ask yourself that question. Let's see. you are participating in acts of something that seems natively not problematic to the world, but you are literally going around at night to other people's houses and trusting that that individual who you've never met in your entire life has good intentions towards you
and your children
and will do no harm. And I understand now as a believer, we want to believe there's all this good in the world, and I believe there are good people in the world. And I believe
hearts are desperately wicked.
And I believe there are good people out there, especially Christians who do trunk or treats or celebrate and do all kinds of fun things during Halloween and all that. Okay. But there are also people who don't.
I agree.
And those people have ill intention. And if you, as a parent, are subjecting your children to this willingly, you're a participant. Okay. The biggest argument that I feel that nobody ever makes towards this holiday, and I think it is probably the most crucial and critical of arguments, and again, this is my hot take, take it for what it's worth, is by feigning support, showing support, whatever, you become part of the propaganda arm of that evil and wicked scheme, and you actually are helping desensitize an entire nation to horrible, evil, wicked schemes. And what might those schemes be? Okay. Whether you believe in spiritual, supernatural, or any of those things is irrelevant, but
the demonic is real.
The reality is that it is real and it does exist. So prime example, and I'll pose this question to you. Would you sit in front of a Ouija board ever in your life?
Never.
Why?
Because it's awful. It is super demonic.
Okay. Everything this holiday stands for is the equivalence of a Ouija board.
Okay.
No, hold on. Before you can page your counter arguments, I'm going to tell you why. All a Ouija board does is there's no actual moving, working component to it. It's not real. It doesn't actually do anything. It's made by Milton Flipping Bradley, for Pete's sake. It's cardboard.
Well, now it's not
plastic.
The original.
Even the originals, they were wood. They were told it's all fantasy. It's all fiction. Okay. Everything about the actual board, the wood, the carvings, all the stuff. I don't care. They could tell you it's from a tree in this ancient forest or whatever mystic system, witches prayed over it. I don't care. They are all going to lie. That's not, man has no power here. Man does not have any power.
You have no power.
Okay.
Here.
Why? Because demons don't listen to you.
That's correct.
They only listen to the authority of one person, and that is Jesus Christ Almighty.
Well,
okay.
Technically three, but
yes, and God and Holy Spirit. But the authority comes from Christ. Okay, so hold on. So this is important. They don't respond to you. They don't summon by you. But here's what they do. They will show up because you are willingly saying, I am okay with you being around. I'm okay with you being here. And a Ouija board is basically saying, hey, come and participate here. I'm interested in what you have to say here. And they do. They interact with you because they're looking for every opportunity to do what?
Oh, they want to screw with you and keep you. They want to destroy.
They want
you.
They want to perform ill harm and ill will towards
absolutely
mankind
destroy you.
And they do not like God's creation. Okay, so that being said, every single decoration, every single horror film, every single thing that is sponsoring this wicked holiday is an invitation for that opening. It is literally saying, come on and participate. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I want to see what this demon has to say to me. Now, you might be a fighter. You might be a tough guy. And you might be like, all right, I can handle that. All right, cool. Well, here's the other problem. That's just generally across the holiday. Now, add in everything else I said to you. So you may not buy into the spirit realm. You might not be okay with that. Or you might be like, oh no, that's all hubbubaloo. It's not real. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm not a super spiritual, supernatural guy. Okay, fine.
Doesn't mean they still won't screw with you.
But you want to know who is? Those who do believe. And those who welcome them. And those who do operate in that spiritual realm. And guess what? This holiday is an open invitation for them to do all sorts of evil and wicked stuff. And nothing is easier to do wicked and evil stuff in than a holiday that is surrounded by nothing but that evil and wicked thing. And on top of it, guess what? How many people are walking around with masks on? You don't even know who they are. You can't identify them. You can't see them. But
this is Jersey. We don't know. They still haven't taken them off from COVID. We don't know who they are anyway.
Look, you send your kids into the woods for a haunted whatever you do all these things. And this is the problem. Okay? What is this holiday centralized around?
Death. And demonic.
Not just death, but demonic activity, right?
Demonic activity.
But more than that, and especially even if you go over other borders, okay? Because this holiday does have some roots outside of the United States. You get to the celebration.
All the roots are outside of the United States.
You get celebration of death and spirits, okay?
Yep.
Here's my biggest problem. What this holiday is centralizing you on is to desensitize you from the horrors and the evil and wickedness that is around you. And if you're desensitized to it, guess what that means?
It's easy for other people to do it.
Nope.
It's easy to get picked off.
You won't stop it.
Yeah, you won't stop it. You'll allow people to do it.
You will let it happen. Halloween, why Christians should not celebrate Halloween is because it is literally desensitizing the entire world into accepting
the
demonic around them and embracing it as it happens around them and not do anything to stop it.
And before I hear people go,
be okay with whatever happens.
But I only want to communicate with the good spirits. No such thing. Okay, let's just put it this way: if you died and
if you're talking to your mom who died 27 years ago, that's called a familiar spirit.
Well, number one, let's just be honest. Let's look at this at an honest thing.
She's gone.
You die. You make it to heaven. God welcomes you in. It is a perfect place. You know that thing that the Matrix couldn't handle? Okay, it is perfect. Everything is perfect. No sadness, no pain, no nothing. Are you ever going to want to leave to come down here?
Well, no. They think no, but that's not the argument. People think there's like an intercom service. Like you get up there, you get to your mansion, and you have an intercom to your family.
You're not going to care. Do you know who you're going to care about? Your Lord. Who is as bright as the sun up there. That's who you're going to care about. But before because I could ramble on that one because I love people that have that argument. I do want to hear what Steve has to say.
And real quick, before you go into it, and if people are wondering, well, where are you basing this off of? Where are you getting this
Look at the world.
From?
Well, there's a lot
I'm going to encourage anybody who wants to refute or call, and you said New Testament example, here's your New Testament example. 2 Peter. If you go into 2 Peter, second chapter generally is probably all you need to read. It's going to talk about the depravity of false teachers.
Okay.
That's
fair.
And the false teachers and the false doctrines that are being promised or being spoken about, we can get into all kinds of spiritual debate and topics and subject matters, but here's what you have to understand. What they are practicing or what they're operating in is spiritual wickedness, right? What is wickedness? It is something in the supernatural, but it is evil. It is wrong. It is terrible, right? And so what they are trying to do or what they're trying to create is a doctrine. They're trying to create an argument for these types of things that are acceptable. They're trying to tell you to participate in certain things like debauchery and all kinds of sensationalism.
Debauchery is sexual sins. So if y'all don't know what that big word means.
And think about this. If the sensationalism, the attacking of children, the over-sexualization of your children in these outfits and these attires. You're talking about participation in acts of demonic or evil will or wickedness. And it's being propagandized to you as though it's harmless. That is a false doctrine.
Yep.
And here's the catch. You go, oh, well, what else is there? Well, there's idolatry. The worship of the candy god, okay, which if you ask me, this is why I'm going to tell all you Christians, cut the trunk or treats out. Cut it out. You are creating and parading the holiday for them by buying the candy and distributing it in the back of a car. You're like, oh well, it's no harm. No, it's the same thing. The practice is the same. The worship is the same. Everything is the same. The only difference is you go, well, it's safe here because it's at our church and it's in the back.
You're
of
right. It's probably
cars.
safe, but it's still not right.
It's safer, but it's wrong. That's the argument. And the argument has nothing to do with safety. The argument has nothing to do with protecting kids in the sense of protecting kids from harm. No, the harm you're trying to protect the kids from is the harm of what they are going to become desensitized to in the future because of this false teaching.
I would also bring in Philippians 4:8-9. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is
that's the standard.
If there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you.
And that's the standard.
What part of this holiday is pure? Well, what part of this holiday is lovely?
So, but here's the thing. That's the standard, and that's the New Testament equivalent of what you already shared out of Leviticus.
Yes.
Basically.
Okay. So now that we're halfway through the show, I would like to get one word in.
All right, he's already got it. All right, let's go.
It's been a half an hour, and I haven't had a chance to talk.
Look, I was going to let you talk.
He was going to let you talk first. All right, what do you got, Steve?
All right, so what you talked about, I agree with. It's bringing the opportunity to them to be desensitized. Problem with my son was that he was already desensitized because of his mother.
Right.
His mother lets him listen and watch horror movies and all this kind of stuff. And it's awful.
And by the way, and so just so you're clear, the holiday is bad enough, but I don't advocate any of those things.
Right, correct.
All of that's bad. So anyway,
for the nostalgia thing that you brought up, somewhat, yes, I agree. It has I have good memories with it, but I know nowadays you can't just send your kid out on the street like we used to.
Dude,
we can't do that anymore. And that's fine. But
some of my best memories with cousins and stuff was going out as a kid doing Halloween.
Right.
But I look at it and I'm like, I don't even look at it as it's not safe now to do what we did because
it was not safe then either.
They would drop us off at an entire housing development and go, here, go.
We were in the lakes and we just walked around all over the
It's not even that. It's not even that. It's the everything that has to do with the demonic on it.
And I agree, which is why we took him to the trunk or treats. And I'll get into it so that you can rebuttal. What it had there was Christian music playing, and the trunks that were there had like the nativity scene and David and Goliath and all kinds of Christian themes in their trunks for kids to see.
Yep.
Which is not allowing any ill things to be seen or to be done. Everybody was dressed accordingly. Nobody was dressed inappropriately. And they were, just giving out candy to the kids. And when he's not old enough to understand what a demonic presence is.
Tag me. Thank you.
Why?
I got this.
I know, it's fine. I will still disagree with you.
I've got things on this one as well, but
finish your thing because I want to finish. I want you to finish your thing.
So the thing is that because he can't understand what demonic things are at a younger age, I can tell him what it means, but it means absolutely nothing to him because I don't remember anything my parents told me when I was younger up until I was 10, 11 years old. And until that time, he was trunk or treating, going to these events and just having fun. And in retrospect,
take my tag back.
In retrospect, it's similar. It's not like, but it is similar to our harvest party because we are still having a party and we're not giving out candy, but we're still doing things and enjoying the time with our families.
The difference is the harvest party is actually celebrating the harvest and thanking God for the harvest is in Scripture. That is in Scripture.
Right, I understand that.
So our church doing a harvest party, thanking God for the harvest and all the things that He has brought forth to us, is actually scripturally based.
So the argument here really is, and I will take your argument and I will retranslate it in a little bit better way. Okay. Christians taking the holiday and trying to convert it into a Christian theme in order to promote Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Now, here's my argument. And my argument is pretty much going to sound really, really stupid, but you'll get it when it's done.
Okay.
If I hand you the book of Satan,
Yep.
okay, and it is the book of Satan, hand in, through and through, nothing about it.
Okay.
But I put a Christian Bible cover on it.
Then how is that different from the harvest party?
Okay, big difference. Because the content, the theme of everything is God-centered. A trunk or treat, in its name, is emulating trick or treat.
Okay, I see what you're
The
saying.
whole concept of trunk or treat is we're trying to take the holiday of Halloween, and I've seen it. Churches, they're like, come to our Halloween trunk or treat.
Oh yeah, they're
not even
It's separating. It's not
they're
even
not even
separating.
separating. And here's the biggest finalization of it. Go back to what I said. What are you participating in? Right? I could sit here and go, all right, my house, right? On Halloween, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put all these Christian decorations out. But I'm still inviting kids to come to my house and get what?
Candy.
Right? I don't have spooky ghosts and creepy crawlers and all kinds of weird things in my house. I'm not trying to scare the children, but I am still participating in the holiday.
Activity, yeah.
Now, why is that a problem? Scale away everything else, right? Our harvest party is an opportunity for people who are trying to get away from their communities and away from their homes that are filled with that wicked holiday right now and come to a place to actually worship God, to actually be with the fellowship of the brethren, which is all found scripturally sound. The only reason why it's on this day is because it's a day of trying to get away from
There's two
the
reasons.
holiday.
Yes, it's
Not
all,
in
harvest time,
supplementation.
yeah, this is also harvest time. Okay,
Right.
so anytime between the middle of October,
So there's November and all that
that's what I'm
too.
saying.
Yeah.
We could do a harvest party anytime
Yeah,
between the
we
middle
do
of
them all the
October
time.
to the middle of November.
But
That's-
the reason
okay.
for doing it at the same time as
and we
the
do, and
Halloween
it's not the same
celebration,
time. For us, it's
Actually,
3 days early.
yeah, in all reality, I don't know when. I'll be honest.
It's
with you.
happened before. We've been
in
on the
my
same
community,
day.
in my town, I have no idea when they send those rascals out all over the place.
No, I don't either.
I don't
Nobody
know.
comes to the house.
I know there's.
I've
a
never
curfew.
held candy.
I know it's a day. I don't know what day it is, and I don't care. And the reason why I don't care is because I'm not participating in it at all. And so my correlation to this goes back to my first argument, which is, even if you're disguising things and throwing some Christian wrapping paper over top of it, you're still sponsoring and supporting the machine that is trying to desensitize you to all the evil and wickedness
So-
that's going on around you.
So it's
Don't even buy the candy. I'm serious.
Right, I don't buy any of the
look,
candy. No,
I don't buy candy,
And
but-
I'm going to
No,
even go ahead.
I don't buy I don't buy the Halloween candy.
And
I go buy the other stuff. But it's the stuff that I normally buy,
But here's
like
the-
lollipops and stuff that I eat all year round.
I would even argue, don't even pull this stunt. I've heard this one before. I'll wait till afterwards and I'll get it all 50% off because it's going to be cheap after the holiday's done. No, stop supporting it. Look, if I turned around and I told you for every bag of candy you buy that has something Halloween associated to it, a child is getting molested and you sponsored it, would you stop?
yes, but it's really hard because those pumpkin Reese's cups.
But wait till the
are
Christmas
really
ones
bad.
come out.
No.
All right? But this is my
and I
point.
know why,
That's my
and I know
thing.
why you like those. Same reason why I like the shaped ones,
Yeah.
holiday
Give you
shaped
more
ones,
peanut butter.
because there's more peanut butter.
Yeah,
in it.
more peanut butter.
Okay, get the big
So
cup.
good.
Get the big cup.
But either way, my
It's the
point
same. Tell me it's not the
It
same.
is the
It's
same.
I'm
the
saying,
same thing. Get
but
the
you,
big
but
cup.
you guys get my point.
No,
Like, you
right,
understand my
no,
point?
and
It's like the problem is, and this is where that desensitization happens.
Because I agree with you on the
because
peanut
we
Yeah,
don't
totally.
actually
So-
see the inner workings, the machines. Look, I'll call it the way I see it. Maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm going to end up on a list somewhere. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I'll just vanish somewhere.
We're already on lists.
No, I don't know if I am or not, but maybe
We
I
already
will.
are.
I don't know. Who knows?
So,
but if I exposed accidentally some weird, sick, twisted ring of God knows what unclean
blood.
whatever, I'm not going there, but I'm saying whatever unclean things could be possibly going on behind closed doors, and you were to find out, and I'll just pick a random candy that's out during Halloween, not Reese's, but
circus peanuts.
Sure, circus
Candy
peanuts.
corn.
The candy corn.
There you go. No, that's demonic candy.
That people that Brax, I think, right? Brax makes candy corn.
Oh, they ain't the only one, but I think they're the
But
biggest
like,
one.
if they were like this huge sponsor of like child pedophilia rings,
Oh yeah, nobody
okay,
would.
and the money that they made to continue to support that
Only
ring
sickos eat
was
candy,
off of
candy
hold
corn.
on,
That's
but seriously, was made off of all that Halloween candy that you're buying innocently, thinking, oh, there's no attachment, there's nothing. You don't know, you have no idea. And I know that's really, you're like, oh, that's really, really like so far fetched and far. It's not far fetched when you understand what evil and wickedness looks like and what it's trying to do.
So okay, so back to my example with the trunk or treat. If because you're saying the harvest party is completely different.
It's absolutely
Which-
different.
I understand your point. I would still slightly disagree, and that it's still hiding behind the mask of it because it's still during that time, and we're still doing a celebration. Now, granted, it's a different type of celebration. So my rebuttal would be, if they instead called it trunk or treat, they just called it a harvest party and decorated cars like they still do. And instead of handing out,
What does that have to do with harvest?
they could do
What?
a lot of things.
No.
with harvest.
No. So I'll give
Seriously.
you. I'll give you a
What
better
is that?
example. Hold on.
Wait. Okay, there is something I want to say, because there is something that you said when you were talking about your thing about, oh, my son, he doesn't know what any of that means. Okay, whose responsibility is it to raise up the child in the ways of God?
Well, yeah, me. Obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
parents.
so then why are you exposing them to the demonic? He doesn't know what it is. You're right.
yeah,
But it's your job. It's my job as a parent. I'm a parent as well. So this is to me as well. And I have to fight against this because my ex-wife lets my kids do this stuff. So I have to
Threatens them.
fight against it. Huh?
Threaten them, according to what I've
Yeah,
heard.
threaten them that they have to do it. If there's been issues. Okay.
They get grounded if they don't.
If they don't do it.
yeah.
Like, okay.
That's not evil and wicked. I don't know what is.
So I get it. You're not
horrible.
you don't have full control over what he gets going on. Neither do I. I get more control. I get them half the time. So that I have to spend a lot of that half the time fighting what she puts in them.
Yeah.
So I get that. Okay, but it is our responsibility as parents to raise them up in the things of Christ. Okay, it is absolutely our responsibility. We should not be putting them in areas where they can be where they can absorb the demonic at all in any part of it. So if Halloween and everything about Halloween is about false gods, demonic everything, if it's all about that and we're letting them do it, we are letting that get into their spirituality. They are soaking that.
we're
It
giving
is
them
there.
a harder battle.
And now they're going to have to fight that later because we've given demons. We basically, when we let them do Halloween and everything else, we basically go, here, demons, have fun with my kid.
for one day a year.
One day a year.
What's the harm?
Rest of the year, yeah, you send them to church and everything, but are you spending the time cutting off those demonic ties? Are you spending the time cutting off that demonic oppression that you're putting on your kid? Look, there are a lot of things I had to go through after I got saved that I thought were great things because I was like, oh, I have great memories.
Right.
But then looking back and asking God about it, he's like, no, you got to go back and pray against that because you've allowed, like my family, I used to think the Masons were a great thing. So I found out what they really are. And then God was like, no, you have to cut those demonic ties from you completely.
And this is a thing. Like Halloween is really the focus right now because it's the holiday, right? And it's
Right.
only a holiday because our stupid government decided this
That's
deserves
correct.
an actual.
Well, it's not
day of
even
the year.
it's not even a national holiday. It's just nationally
No,
celebrated.
But
you
again,
don't get off for it.
no. But the point is, it's on a calendar. It's recognized. It's governmentally backed. It's governmentally supported. You know, they have to do all kinds of processing and procedures and all kinds of things. I mean, look, I don't even know if you're aware of this, but and maybe you probably are aware of this, but did you know this, that on Halloween, whatever day that actually is observed in your communities, certain areas, certain communities, all child sex offenders have to literally report to the courthouse. They're not allowed to be at their homes.
Yeah.
Yep. I did know that.
Yeah.
Like, now, why?
Well, obviously.
If there wasn't a problem, why do they got to do it?
See what my point is?
Yeah.
Right? Why does the government have to go out of their way to do something like that if there's not an evil, wicked problem going on around during that holiday?
Not to mention all the razor blades, needles, and everything
that's
else.
all myth. That's all myth. And I mean,
it's actually happened.
I mean, it may have, but it's like super small. This is another really interesting thing. Like, I'm doing a little bit of research before this episode and all this stuff, and I'm trying to find some information because in my mind, I sit there and I go, man, this is a really easy holiday to just abduct children.
Yep.
Yeah.
Straight up.
100%.
It is.
But it's
100%.
not. But here's the thing. You ready? Go try to find any stats supporting it.
You won't.
You won't. Now, that means one of two things. Either one, that doesn't happen at all, and that is scary, like unbelievably real, that would never happen on a day where everybody's cloaked in different disguises and people could be dressed as all God knows who what, and you could see somebody walking around with a kid thinking, oh, that's their child. Oh, that's the dad and his
Wouldn't be
son.
the first time that a kid
Nobody would ever question it. Nobody would ever
know.
know. Nobody would ever think about it or understand because everybody's screaming and running away from horrible things. And there's a guy running away with a kid who dressed in a ghost costume thinking, oh, that's their dad and the son. But there goes a kid that belonged to somebody else. I would think that's a huge available market. But stat-wise, can't find a single ounce of information.
They don't stat
You want
per
to know
day.
what you do find about them?
They don't stat per day.
You want to know,
stat
you want to know
per
what's
year.
an interesting stat that you do figure out about this holiday that is apparently super important?
What?
How many children are hit by cars?
Oh, yeah.
The exponentially increased large amount of children that are hit by cars during this time of the year.
That's the parents.
Now, hold on. Now you say that, right?
Yeah.
And you say that. And I could argue and agree with you. But what desensitization process made it okay for them to go ahead and let their kids go run out at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night all over the streets where cars drive, and any other day of the week, their butts be inside doing their homework?
They would never be allowed outside.
You see what I mean? So there's a desensitization that's happening, and it doesn't matter. And this is the part I would even say to argue here. We're talking about Halloween, but literally Halloween is just a fill in the blank subject. Because if you think the enemy is not going to find every outlet and hole, he's going to do it,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
He's going to use video games. He's going to use TV.
Yep.
He's going to use everything that
There's
we can
a lot
build.
of things that I've cut myself out of on that.
Here's
too.
the thing, guys. Listen, and this is the thing. As a pastor, you guys know this. I deal with this all the time. But how many times do I have to sit down with people in the church who have to tell me about how they're having an issue with fill in the blank? And it's always centralized around the idol worship of something that they're involved with, i.e. the worship of their TV, the cell phone, the computer, the video games, money, fill in the blanks. You name it, the evil and wicked scheme is not about this specific holiday. It is about the understanding that Christians need to understand there's an evil, wicked scheme afoot produced by a false teacher and false doctrine that is out there, and it is only goal and mission is to corrupt the minds of those who believe or prevent anybody from coming
there to
the belief.
Read Screw Tape Letters.
Period.
If y'all ain't read Screw Tape Letters yet, you need to.
So, and I'm not saying this to shut you down, because I think, and this is why I said I believe a large proponent of Christian involvement comes, even the whole concept of trunk or treat, and even in your argument against the Harvest Party, comes from a nostalgic approach. Not that nostalgia is the factor, but we try to grab something from our nostalgic remembrance of these times in the past, and we try to hold on to some of those good memories, those fond memories, or even recall them through engaging in even some form of similarities to it, i.e. a trunk or treat gets born. Because I remember doing that and I had fun, but I really understand the demonic side of it. I understand all this stuff. So let's make it more Christian feel, more Christian-like, and bring more Bible themes and use it as an evangelistic approach. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. As a church, I could make a lot of people come to my church by having trunk or treats at my church.
Sure
And
could.
not one
But
of
you
them will
wanna
be
know
here
what?
on Sunday.
No, they might. They might. But what's the product? What am I promoting? I am actually giving you the support to the false prophets, to the false teachers, to the false gods that are afoot in this holiday. And I'm saying, here, I'm a sponsor. Well, this leads me to a bigger question. If your church is growing by sponsoring false worship and false doctrines and false gods,
They're probably the same ones that sponsor transgender stuff.
But who is the God of your church then?
Yep.
This is a really, really, really hard subject for people to deal with.
Believe me, I've gotten in arguments with people all the time. Oh God. The fact of Halloween, I've argued with many people. Look, my family, my one side of my mom's side of the family, huge, love Halloween. It's one of their favorite holidays.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Every one of them.
Huge.
He loves his holiday.
Yeah.
Every one of them supposedly born again, saved, go to church.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
A lot of
I
people
can tell you that I struggle with this. When I see a Christian go, "Oh, I love Halloween,"
But have you heard this argument?
What, yours?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason
I would love to hear it more. I don't hear it ever.
the reason why I go,
I've never heard this argument ever. False teachers and false doctrines. I've never heard that ever.
I have heard it.
Okay.
Cool. The reason why I go with look,
guy.
I'm a very I'm sorry, I'm reading comments here of this one person.
It's interesting.
I don't celebrate a dad rabbit thing.
So anyway, so then what would, because you're saying the harvest versus trunk or treat are two completely different things. What makes trunk or treat? Is it the candy? Is it the...
No, it's because you've tied it to their thing. You've tied it to the world's thing. You've tied it to the demonic. So automatically because you're doing it. So because remember what I said, the history of the whole trick or treat thing.
Right. Yes.
The history of the whole trick or treat thing is that they made food for the demons, the spirits that were going to be around. And if if they didn't like it, then those spirits would do tricks on the house, which is where the whole trick or treat thing came from. Give me something good or I'm going to do something bad to you.
Right.
So we're going to do trunk or treat. We're going to just here, let's just give candy to kids. And it is perpetuating the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Right. I would say this to give you maybe a better understanding of what would be in line, and maybe what we personally do here for us is not really a good example or illustration, because it's really just it's a time for our people. Really, it's not evangelistic. We're not trying to reach out. We're not trying to get people outside. It's not a supplemental holiday. It really is. It's for our people in our church to really just enjoy each other's company, enjoy the fellowship of the saints.
We don't even
and
have
actually
anything out saying, "Hey, come and
no, it's not at all.
No,
it really is for our people as a safe haven, as a place to kind of, because let's face it. If I told you, this is really stupid an example, but if I said one of those, I think, what's that stupid horror movie where they just let all the mad maniacs go loose and kill a bunch of people? Thank you, Purge. If Halloween was like a purge, and you needed somewhere safe to be because you aren't going to participate in it, and that means you're going to become a victim because you're not participating. You either participate and you go do the killings, or you're one of the people getting killed. You're on their team or you're not, right? That's basically the basis of it, right? So you need a safe place to go. So really what I'm saying is a church should be, is, if anything, is a safe place for people to get away from this.
Wait, you mean they should be a sanctuary?
Right, it's an actual sanctuary. And so what we do is that. But but here's the thing. Let's say you are a church and you are a little bit bigger and you do have community and you're building in the community and you want to do something against this holiday. And you're like, well, what's my answers or what are my options? All right, well, here's what you can do then, right? You can literally forego all of the stuff that is associated. So take an inventory, write a list. What are the things that Halloween embraces as a generalization of the holiday?
Giving away free candy,
dressing up, spooky stuff,
yeah,
right? Let's see what else. Bonfires, you could go
which
into
stands for bonfires, where they
right.
used to burn the bones and carcasses of what they sacrificed.
Right, all kinds of what's
mischief night, that kind of thing.
Well, mischief night's the night before,
right? But
that's still involving.
It's still part of it, right? It's still part of that wickedness and all that stuff, right? So if you take all these generalizations, and even into this scope, I would even go in there and say,
horror movies,
pumpkin, jack-o'-lanterns, all the
jack-o'-lantern,
the spiders, and all the creepy crawlers, and all that stuff. Like, throw all of that stuff, write it down on the list, okay? If it's in there, you can't.
Right.
You just can't.
So
and so it's literally making a definitive line against that, an approach from that. And now here's where you go. All right, so what can I do that is in the season, Christ-centered, and focuses on him? You go, well, I don't know, maybe a corn maze. Yeah, you could do a corn maze.
Yep.
Ain't nothing wrong with corn.
Nope.
Corn's fine. You could do, if you want to do scarecrows, right? Scarecrows are fine.
Right.
Scarecrows are fine. Why? But because scarecrows go out in the fields and scare the birds away. And what is the purpose? What was the point? Because they protected the harvest.
Yep.
Like, literally, that's what they do.
No, yeah.
There's nothing haunted, bad, or evil, or wicked.
Nope.
But look what this holiday does. It takes things that are good and it corrupts them.
Yep.
Now scarecrows become evil and scary and wicked. It's not what they were designed for.
Hayride, which is all just supposed to be you're in a wagon with hay and going around and having a good old time. Now they're turning them into haunted hayrides.
Right?
You should just take a hayride. At least
that's
how I remember.
What Bringhurst does. Bringhurst just does hayrides.
Right.
No, this is what I.
But there's so many things. There's so many things that are good.
Our church would do a hayride. We didn't do anything. The church I got saved in, we didn't do anything with Halloween, but we did. They would take the youth out to do a hayride and campfire, where we would cook food and s'mores and stuff on a campfire.
Which, by the way, is the difference between a campfire and a bonfire.
Yeah, correct. So anyway, but the hayride we did,
campfire,
no scary, no nothing, just at night going through the woods. Do you know what we did while in the back of that big wagon full of hay?
Sung worship songs.
No.
Oh, you should have. Why not?
No, because we did that back at the campfire.
Okay.
Where you could, no. Well, look, most of our youth group was boys. What do you think we did on that hayride? While going through the woods,
made jokes.
No, wrestling matches in the hay, man. It was good old fun.
No,
on a moving vehicle.
Yes,
they're boys. They're not bright.
They're not smart.
They're not smart.
Look! I survived and I'm okay.
That's not why we die first. We die because we do the dangerous stuff. That's why.
But we had a blast. We would go through this campground on a hayride, having fun. Then we get back to the campfire, cook dogs, s'mores, marshmallows, do all that stuff over the fire, and then sing worship songs and worship. But you have the rest of this world wants to do haunted hayrides, haunted houses, haunted mazes, haunted paintball rides, haunted this, haunted that, and it's like they got to circle so much about death. And we're told not to worship death.
And look, I've actually some of the things that I thought were kind of funny. And and here's something I go, this is one of those thin lines. I know you are going to applaud this.
What?
Because I heard this one, and I'm on this line. So this one church, I don't know the name. I apologize. I know if you remember, if you see this video, God, it'd be really funny if you did comment. But if you hear this idea from us and you want to do the same thing, I think I'm going to tell you, I'm on the thin line, okay, of it. But this one church, they have like a really thriving men's and youth group, but they also do a lot of things to help people get rid of their belongings, which is something we do.
Right.
And stuff. So, and that's an Acts sell your belongings,
Right,
and so, I mean, that's very scriptural. So, but sometimes people purge their old Halloween junk because they get saved and they get rid of all their wicked junk. And so they go, I'm going to purge all my Halloween stuff. Well, we're more of the proponent of, okay, well, throw it in the garbage. Don't keep it.
No, throw it on the fire. We don't even throw it on a campfire.
Well, I mean, some of that plastic stuff probably is really poisonous. But anyway,
Dude, that one time, I did it before.
It's going to start a bomb.
So anyway. But here's the thing.
Different colored smoke.
This is where you guys are going to probably go. Where are you at? All right. So here's where I'm at. So this one church, what they do is they had a large field that they would rent out, and they would put all of these inflatables and all these plastic Halloween decorations out with hay bales and all kinds of stuff. And they'd arm their teens and their men with paintball guns, and they would go. They would literally say, "You're fighting the demon horde." So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where to stand on this. I'm like, come fight the demon hordes. And I'm like, I like it.
I'm kind of for it.
I like it because you're not buying anything. You're trashing it. But before you trash it, you're having a little fun trashing it afterwards.
But you're still,
I see what I mean.
You're still participating.
But that's where I'm like, are you still kind of participating in that theme base a little bit?
Now, here's the thing. If you're using paintball guns, I think you're participating. If you're using real guns, you're blowing away the demon horde.
I mean, but... So the point is,
so
the thing is that they're literally like going to get rid of them. So they're trashing them before they throw them away, but they're having a little fun before they trash them. This is where I'm like, I don't know where I stand on it. You know what I mean? But again, I think it's kind of fun because it's like a shooting target range, and if they were probably from Alabama, they would use real guns. I don't.
Bows and arrows would be fun.
But again, it
would take some skill to hit it.
Thinking about it in that sense, I'm like, what are you doing? Well, you are taking a spiritual approach, which is combating against the evil forces and the works of the devil.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a pep rally before a big football game, and we're smashing the car that has got the paint of the other team on it.
Yeah, that's what. But I don't know how much of it. But I don't know it, again, and I don't know, and I can't speak for this one church. But like, is it evangelized? Are you trying to lead people to Christ,
or is it more towards just your own people?
Yeah, and then in that case, even if are you?
Is there a lesson behind it?
Right. Are you doing something spiritual to back it up? Are you just doing it to have fun during the holiday? Because again, I'm not saying we can't have fun, and I'm not saying we can't have a good time, and we all do. We have a good time in our homes.
We do.
But the having fun and having a good time is not the problem. It is the associations and the sponsors and the things that you're bringing in, and you're desensitizing or allowing that desensitization to happen, and you're not actually doing something to combat it. And that's where I think, as long as that message is there and you're really setting a clean line on how you're combating this, and you're standing against the evil and the vile wickedness that's transpiring, I think it's okay. But that's where I go. It's one of those lines. I'm a little like, it's close. You know what I mean? It could be good. It may not be. I think it does depend on the church and how they're operating with it and how they're handling it. But it did catch my eye, and I thought that was a pretty cool idea.
It's an interesting.
It's a cool idea. I mean, they already do paintballing anyway. You know what I mean? So that's like a fun thing for the thing.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it like on Halloween, but like the following spring.
I don't know.
No, the reason why I do it in spring, that's when you do spring cleaning. So we're going to take it all out there. We're going to kill them all.
Well, I mean, you could. I mean,
I don't know.
It would be wrong to have a picture of Satan. You just hit him a bunch.
Look, I don't want to. I don't want any demonic figures. Period. No. Personally, and that's it. Now, see, there's my point. Right. And that's what I'm saying. And that's where exactly. So that's where my line is. Where I'm going. I don't want to even be around or associated.
Again,
you know what I mean.
There's so much, and this is why I look. Y'all know, this.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is one of my absolute favorite holidays. Christmas has re-become my number one because I hated Christmas for so long. But I love Thanksgiving. I love the harvest, the being thankful for everything that God has given you for the year, everything that's gone on. And there's so much more the way I look at it, and with my kids and everything else. I enjoy worshiping and thanking God for what He has done in the year during the time of harvest.
Right.
Okay, we're told so many times in the Bible, what you sow, you shall reap. We are supposed to go out and, collect the harvest of souls when the fields are white and ready to go. We're supposed to do all the things. There's so much spiritual in the fact of harvest and thanking God for all harvest, whether it's spiritual, physical, financial, whatever. There's so much more there that is fun with that, huh?
Don't worry about it. I got it.
Oh no!
Don't worry about the comments. They're not here. That's his field. That's not your.
I'm just because I can read them.
I don't have many things. Let me have my
He's
thing.
distracted. It's like
ooh, shiny.
Like, ooh, shiny.
But it's
he doesn't have ADHD.
there's so much more out there with this, and you know what? We are called to be set apart as Christians.
Yeah, and that's what you were pointing out.
We are called to not be like the world.
Yeah.
We are called to be better than the rest of the world.
Right.
Granted, we suck at it. We're not going to be better. The reason why we even can attempt to be better is because of Christ and the Holy Spirit and because of the salvation that we have. And we are supposed to be light of the world of that. If we are just going around and doing all the things that the world does for fun, then we are no better than them. And were we ever truly saved?
Right.
What is the point? What is the point then? Why do you go to church on Sundays? If all you want to do is come to church on Sunday so you can feel good about all the other crap that you do the rest of the time, then don't come.
Right.
I hate to say it, but we'd rather have real believers than fake believers. I don't know what the heck. I really don't know what else to say. And I do hold a hard stance on this. It's been something that I've wrestled with for a long time when it comes to my own family. But if you are a Christian, you cannot do Halloween. You can't in any way. You can't. It is damaging to your soul, to your family's soul. You are allowing demonic things to come into to your spiritual legacy of your family that should never have to be there, but you're willingly letting them in. They come in trying to attack you on their own. You don't need to open the door and let them in. Okay, that's just where I look at it. I know I probably pissed some people off today, but I really don't care. Hi, my name is Nolan, and I offend people. And I'm glad to do so.
Yeah, and as the opposing party, not in the least offended. I can still disagree.
No, but there's a lot of people that are. No,
yes, correct.
I've offended a lot of Karens that call themselves Christians.
Absolutely,
Karens and Kevins and Chads and such. That's
bothering me now.
Yeah, now they hit it. Now it hits you. We're almost done the video. Now it hits you.
Well, what everybody's been saying, I'm sleepy looking, is not sleepiness. It's just allergies.
Allergies.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I can understand where you're coming from and still disagree, and that's fine. Yeah. And I think that's where we're at. And there's a lot of subjects that I would also like to talk about eventually that I am on opposing sides of as well.
No, look. Number one, we got three more episodes after today for this season. And then when we take our time off, we will do our planning time to talk other. And if there's opposing stuff, look, I'm down for it. I'm down for, let's dig into the word about what God says about certain things. The whole point of this podcast is so that we can not only see the political and the social things that are going on in this world, but see it from a biblical worldview and to inform people as to what's really going on. It doesn't always have to be what's going on in the news that we talk about. It doesn't always have to be politics that we're talking about. It could be topics. And this is why we tell people that our email is in the link tree. If you have a topic that you'd like to talk about or have us talk about, put it in there.
Yeah.
Put it in there. And you know what helps us? Put your side of it in. Not saying that we'll either agree with you or disagree with you, but it gives us...
use it.
We may use it because we may say some people think this and this is what Scripture says. Or, you're right. We may send you that, you know what, you're right. You're thinking out on this already in the right direction. Keep going. We're not trying to bash people, but we do want to make sure that people are rightly informed. The Scripture says that, God's people fail because they don't have vision or knowledge.
My people perish.
The other translations will say lack of knowledge.
Yep.
So either using either word, lack of knowledge or lack of vision, God's people fail. They ultimately fail and perish because of not having it. So we do need to have those conversations. And I'm saying all that to say that we are coming to the end of this episode. So obviously go to the link tree and buy you.
Bayou?
Go
to the bayou.
Going to the bayou. Hey, look, if I could play worship songs on the banjo, y'all would be in trouble. No, but go into the link tree and bio. Go to the That's how you can get a hold of us. You can get a hold of me on most forms of social media. You can get a hold of the whole team here via the email.
Don't you dare.
And we can, and this man right here, you can get a hold of him by using the church website, the website to our church, which is on there. You can talk to him if you have any, pastoral questions that you need answers from a pastor about, or if you want to listen to his previous sermons.
Thank you.
I mean, there's some old ones on there, but they're not from him. But anyway,
thank you again. Appreciate it. Yep.
I mean, even though the grace says otherwise. But anyway,
at least I have it.
I got hair. It's just buzzed down to the skin.
Scared it all away.
It came down here.
That ugly face of yours.
So, but see what I look like. I can tell you mine now. I'm not giving out any of my information.
Why do I feel like he's like? If you'd like to know what I look like, here's my social security number.
I'm on TikTok, but I'm not going to tell you what my name is. So good luck.
I believe Shrek is in the name. Not just kidding.
Not
just
even
kidding. But anyway, go there. Also, if you happen to be in South Jersey on a Sunday at about 10 o'clock in the morning, also going to that church website.
Yep. Address at the bottom.
Is at the bottom. You can come worship with us, and we would love to have you, love to see you, and love to praise God with you. God is doing awesome things. This man's been doing some really good sermons that he's been plagiarizing from information that other people give him.
Oh my God! I thought you said this whole thing, this platform was about truth. And you just spout lies that way.
Is still Pastor Appreciation Month. Can you give him a couple more days?
Yeah, well, you know what it is? The pastor who should be appreciated should appreciate the person that gave him all the information to give him.
More lies. Oh my goodness gracious.
No, actually, the stuff that I gave him just confirms what God is doing. That's all it is.
Oh my gosh.
But I love to razz him for it because a lot of things he's been preaching on, I gave him to on a couple pieces of paper. But I
mean, it was good information.
That's
but
all God.
I didn't use any of it.
That's all God, not me. Anyway, I'm just razzing.
I hear you.
So yeah, please come out with us. If you have any prayer requests, again, the email
You're forgetting
address.
the most important thing.
What? Oh, what? The share, comment,
subscribe.
And, if you are,
we're going to see the video.
Is the other thing up yet?
If you're listening to us, no, we're not doing Patreon now.
Or whatever. It's not Patreon.
It's on. If you go into the link tree, you will find my Clapper.
That's the one.
Thing, which is like TikTok.
I'm social media
which
literate.
Is like
I don't
TikTok,
know what
except they won't ban you because you got to be 18 or older to be on it. Number one, and number two, they believe in First Amendment rights. So you go onto the Clapper.
Based in America, not China.
Yeah, based in America. So go onto there and you can join these. You can join the church and state fam. And if you'd like to help us out financially by $1 a month, we would love it. I have like 1,400 followers on there, and if everybody gives $1, that can help grow this exponentially.
We can get better equipment,
better program, better.
I could get toys.
Yes, you could, and
not those toys,
and we could get merch. So, but also, if you're listening to us on audio, do me a favor. I don't want you to lie. If you don't like the show, just don't give us any stars. But if you like the show, but you're like, I like it, it's okay, I'll give them a 3. No, I would like you to exaggerate. Hit the 5-star. Not telling you to lie. I'm telling you to exaggerate. Just embellish a little bit. Give a 5-star review.
He's trying to tell you that it doesn't necessarily, stars don't necessarily mean anything to your critique, but stars do help get us around a little bit more, and that would be better for us.
If you would like to tell us how mid we are, then tell us that in the email.
Sure. Look at you up with the vernacular.
Well, look, I still can't tell you what a Riz is, but this is as far as I go.
No cap. I'm impressed.
So cringe. Such cringe. Very much wow.
Anyway, y'all have a good one. We will be back in 2 weeks. I don't know what our topic's going to be. It's going to change. I will tell you that the last 2 topics will
Probably going to have to do with the next debate because there's going to be
no. That's in the middle of November. That's not even at the time that we're.
I'm sure we'll have something to talk about.
No,
Look, at least if anything, we could do a montage of oatmeal.
I mean, true. Well, no. We have 3 episodes left.
What's my other favorite nickname for him? The houseplant.
I mean,
The White House plant.
The White House plant.
Yeah, the White House plant.
The only member of the White House old folks home.
I mean, I'm actually about to go and upgrade him from White House plant to vegetable.
Pretty much. Look,
I mean,
it's okay.
Look,
it's
there's a
okay.
garden of them there now.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay because it just means that Fetterman will be the next president.
He's already a vegetable too. We got a tomato.
We're just transplanting.
We got a tomato. We got a cucumber. We got a carrot.
And we have a guard dog. Come here, Kamala.
Oh, my
woof, woof.
God.
Come here, girl.
I should never ever say that.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Peace.
Can't help it, I just seem to see the world different. It ain't Republicans or liberals, it's mental illness. The internet is only interested in left opinions. Cancel culture's got more power lately than the First Amendment. If you don't like it, leave. We will not defund police. We don't want no riots in our neighborhoods or in the streets. We respect freedom of speech. We protect what we believe. We don't want nobody dead, so please do not tread on me. In America, if freedom ain't free. In America, got soldiers dying overseas. So America, you say what we believe. My America.